hello my dear students, how are you all? I am Varshavi, your teaching buddy, and I welcome you all to study class 5 science with me by Science Horizon Acknowledge series, a group of Amit Publishing House. So let's see what all we have to study today. Unit 4, our safety and living. Chapter number 6, safety and first aid. So let's begin. Chapter contents are, we have to study what are the safety rules at places around us, what is the first aid given for different injuries. So my dear students, we all have come across accidents, we hear about accidents, we read and we see in the newspapers about accidents. So ये accidents होता कैसे है? Accidents का एक ही reason है, that is carelessness. Alright. So most accidents can easily be avoided if we are careful and if we follow certain basic rules for safety. So let us see what are those safety rules. First of all, some safety rules which can be followed are, okay, while riding bicycle. We all enjoy riding a bicycle during evening or any time in the park. So क्या होने चाहिए measures to be safety? Before riding a bicycle, ensure that the brakes work, the tire pressure is correct, and all the parts are properly working good together. Then while riding a bicycle, always wear a safety helmet. Avoid riding on surface covered with heaps of sand, loose gravel, puddles of water or oil. ऐसी जगह पे साइकिल को मत लेके जाइए. The bicycle may skid or slip over them, which may damage the bicycle and even cause injury to you. Always ride in the bicycle lane. There's always a bicycle lane. Always ride on that lane. If there is no as such bicycle lane, then try to avoid riding through that road, which cautiously and slowly extremely to the left side. तो आप left side में ही bike ride कर सकते हैं. Follow traffic rules and traffic signals when riding on the road. If you want to ride and drive on a road, it is important to be aware of the traffic signals. अगर आप ऑन रोड ट्रैफिक एरिया में ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं या चला रहे हैं अपनी व्हीकल, तो आपको प्रॉपर ट्रैफिक सेंस होना चाहिए. Now what are the safety rules while riding in a moving vehicle? Always fasten the seat belt while riding in a car. Do not disturb the driver when the car is in motion. Never play music at high volume while riding in a car. Do not put your hand or head out of the window when car is standing or parked somewhere or in the moving. Always be vigilant for traffic, that is, be careful by traffic while getting out from a vehicle. One should encourage the driver to follow the speed limit of the road. Now, what are the safety rules while swimming? Swimming करते वक्त भी there are some rules to be followed. So, always have an adult to supervise even if you know how to swim. Consider swimming lessons if you don't know how to swim. Do not push anyone, even playfully, into the swimming pool. Make use of safety equipment and strictly adhere to the safety instruction posted around the swimming pool. What are the safety rules while dealing with fire? So suppose you are around fire games or you are around any bonfire activity. So there should be some measures to be taken here. Accidents involving fire can be dangerous and can cause significant effect over lives. You should be extremely careful when dealing with fire. So safety rules that can be followed are: never play with objects such as candles, matches or lighters. Do not try to light the cooking gas when you are alone at home. Maintain a safe distance from open fires. Avoid wearing synthetic clothes because synthetic and nylon clothes, they catch fire easily. And always wear cotton clothes when you are near to fire. Keep substances like petrol or kerosene away from an open flame as they can catch fire very easily. Now, what to do in case of fire? Suppose, by God forbid, if there is fire, in case of fire in a building, nearby vehicle or any other place, immediately dial 101. 101 is the number to call fire station. If there is a fire in closed areas such as flats, apartments, buildings, malls, cover your mouth and nose with a wet cloth to protect you from getting the smoke. so that smoke doesn't enter your mouth. Use a staircase or emergency exit. Do not use lift in such case. If a person's clothes catches fire, do not allow that person to run around in a panic way with burning clothes. If a person with burning clothes runs around, more oxygen, अगर a human being or any person who has caught fire, if he in the panic situation, if he runs around an open area, more oxygen will be there in that fire contact, and he'll catch more fire. So as a result, the fire grows. So in that case, stay calm and direct the person to stop running immediately and drop to the ground. Now carefully wrap a blanket. In that case, you must wrap a blanket over that burning flame, and the action will cut off the supply of oxygen and fire. In that case, what will happen? The burning will come to, the fire will come to a stop. So this technique will help extinguishing the fire. Now what to do in case of an electric fire? Suppose there is fire caused due to electric fault. Faulty electrical appliances can cause an electric fire. Whenever there's an electric fire, you must immediately turn off the main switch. Never use water. In case of electric fire, never use water to extinguish fire, because that will propagate electric current. If water is thrown over the electric fire, it can cause large electric shock and can kill people. To put out an electric fire, one should throw mud or sand over the fire or use a fire extinguisher like this. These methods help cut off oxygen supply with the fire, and the fire will come to an end. How to put out a fire caused by oil? So in case there is fire which has happened due to oil, in that case, use a fire extinguisher or sand extinguisher which has caused the fire to happen. So do not use water to put out fire which is caused by oil. The oil being lighter than weight will float on the top of the water. So oil को अगर हम water से extinguish करना चाहे, this will not help, because oil water से light है, though that will float over water and the burning will be continued. So what is the first aid given for different injuries? Even when one is being very careful, some injuries may occur. हो जाते हैं, चोट लग जाते हैं. So in that case, what one must do? So the person should be treated immediately if we know the first aid to be given, and proper first aid can prevent an injury for getting worse. तो immediately जो first step होता है वो first aid का होता है. Then after, doctor is always there to take further action. Now what is the first aid for burns? For simple burns, immediately place the burnt area under running water until the pain subsides. Apply a light layer of antiseptic lotion. For severe burn, if the burning is much severe, in that case, and if it forms blisters, अगर blisters बन जाते हैं, that is bubble of skin after burning. So one should never touch or prick a blister, as it will then become an open wound. तो वो ज़्यादा injury हो जाएगी उससे, and germs will be activated on it. So gently cover the blister with a clean piece of cotton cloth and take him to doctor. What is the first aid for cuts and bruises? Wash the affected area with water and apply an antiseptic. Antiseptic cream and medicine kills germs. In case of a deep wound, press the opening to close the wound until the bleeding stops. So अगर कुछ ज़्यादा deep cut है, so you must press that wound so that the bleeding stops. Also tie a clean bandage above the wound. And cuts can lead to tetanus. So there is a disease called tetanus, a disease that affects the nerves and muscles. So therefore, when someone sustains a cut or wound, a tetanus injection should be injected to that infected person under a proper doctor guidance. An anti-tetanus injection is given in such cases. So these are the preventive measures which can be given during accidents, minute accidents. What is the first aid for sprains and fractures? If somebody is getting sprained, internal injuries, bone fractures, so apply an ice pack on the sprained ankle or knee or wrist. If there is swelling and mild pain, tie a crepe bandage firmly around that joint. If there is extreme pain and the person is unable to move, please take him to the doctor. and the person might have suffered from fracture in that case. So proper supervision of doctor is required in this case. A break or crack in a bone is called fracture. We all know this. So avoid moving the injured person in that case. In case the person has to be moved, support the person without putting any pressure on the fractured area. Put a few flat and straight objects under the fractured part and tie them with a string or a long piece of cloth. This rigid support near the fractured area is called a splint. It will provide support and prevent the movement of the fractured bone. So when the bones are already dislocated, disjoined or broken, so there a splint should be placed under that area and it should be tied firmly or gently with a string or any long piece of cloth and then taken to doctor. In case of fractured arm bone, an additional support can be provided by putting a sling, this kind of sling. A sling is flexible strap around the shoulder and it gives a support to arm and neck. A person with fracture should be immediately then taken to a doctor. What is the first aid for animal bites? If you are playing around and get bit by animals around like dogs and cats, then we sometimes get stung by insects also, bitten by animals. So animal bite at times they are dangerous because the saliva has various kind of germs in it which causes rabies. The disease is rabies. Now wash the wound area with water and soap, then apply an antiseptic cream. In case of a dog bite, take the injured person to the doctor immediately as the person may require anti-rabies injection. In case of bee sting, it is useful to apply a paste of baking soda and water or toothpaste on an affected area. In case of wasp एक तरह का fly होता है which is whose sting is very painful if it stings you. So apply vinegar in that case or lemon juice, anything which is khatta, which is sour in taste. Apply that kind of thing over that case. Rub a piece of onion, cut an onion and on the site of the sting. So that will help in taking out the germs through that affected area. So let's recall what we have studied here. Carelessness leads to accident. While riding a bicycle, always wear a safety helmet. Do not disturb the driver when the car is moving. Take swimming lessons if you don't know how to swim. Do not use water to cut out fire during an electric fire caused by oil or even electric fire. A sling is a flexible wrap looped around the fractured arm and the neck. Wash the wound area with water and soap, then apply an antiseptic cream in case of an animal bite. Now let's try to answer some questions. What happens when we are not careful? So simply when we are not careful, accident happens. So to avoid accident, one must take proper safety measures. Why must we follow traffic rules? So traffic rules are must to follow because when we ride a bicycle or we are moving in a traffic related area, so there are high speed vehicles are passing by, so if we don't know the traffic rules we might get accident. What is the first aid for a cut or a wound? So if there is a cut or a wound, first of all immediately wash it under the running water, then apply a layer of antiseptic lotion which will kill the effect of the germs and then probably take them to doctor. What is the first aid for a sprained ankle? So when there is a sprained ankle, wrist or knee, put a ice pack and cover that affected area and then give the person a support and further if required take him to doctor. Why is water not used to put out an electric fire? Because it can cause huge electric shock which might kill people. So in this case sands and extinguishers are used. Explain briefly what one should do if a person's clothes catch fire. So if a person's clothes catches fire, he must not run around an open area because air or the oxygen will enhance the fire. So he must be dropped down to the ground and a layer of blanket should be wrapped around him so that the connection between the oxygen and the fire is disconnected and it will come to an end of the fire. So my dear students, these are all the questions, but again you have to learn the chapter sincerely and carefully and try to answer all these questions on your own. So we here finish the chapter and stay excited for the clamp of our next video and stay happy and healthy. Thank you so much.